Medicare for all? I mean, that's
right.
Really? I mean, is
yeah,
that?
I mean, you're talking about one of the campaign promises there from Andrew Gillum, the Tallahassee mayor.
Well, how do you do it?
Who won a surprise Democratic primary victory last night over Gwen Graham, the daughter of the former senator and governor Bob Graham in Florida. So Andrew Gillum with 34.2% of the vote over Graham, 31.4% of the vote. Check out this tweet here that we got from one of the darlings of the liberal cause last night. One of the people who supported him was Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, a congressional candidate on the liberal side, who says, "Congratulations, Andrew Gillum. The progressive movement is transforming the country, and he proved that again tonight. Gillum ran on Medicare for all, legalizing marijuana, and abolish ICE, and more. Thank you, Florida voters. On to November." So, Joe, to your point, that's the Democratic side of the ledger. This is a Bernie Sanders-endorsed candidate in the Tallahassee mayor. On the Republican side, we've got another person who beat an establishment favorite, an early establishment favorite. This is Ron DeSantis, the Republican congressman who beat State Agriculture Secretary Adam Putnam by a margin of 56.5% to 36.5%. So DeSantis running away with it, really, in this race, and that's largely on the back of an endorsement from President Donald Trump, who put out a tweet of his own last night on DeSantis, congratulating him for this victory, saying such a fantastic win for Ron DeSantis and the people of the great state of Florida. Ron will be a fantastic governor. On to November. Both candidates, guys, 39 years old. Both candidates are insurgents who beat the early favorites, and you've got a Bernie Sanders-backed candidate against a Donald Trump-backed candidate. Possibly the first African-American governor of the state of Florida is in the mix as well. So this is setting up to be a very intense battle for the Florida governorship in the fall, guys. And Joe, to your point, we're seeing, sort of both ends of the political spectrum here, the far right and the far left going at it toe-to-toe in one of the biggest presidential primary states that we've got.
We'll see, Eamon, because moderate Democrats have lost 5 straight for governor in Florida, including a well-known guy who had been a Republican, Charlie Crist, even lost. So I'm not sure. It's hard for me to see that if moderates Democrats lose. I don't know whether Florida as a state was saying, no, you're not liberal enough for us. We want someone really progressive in Florida. It just doesn't seem like the demo for that state is, huh?
I think we're seeing something in a lot of these races. I think what we're seeing is the center cannot hold, right? And you're seeing the energy is on the wings of both of these parties.
But I don't know if that's
the Trump effect, right? I mean, what Donald Trump realized is that you can win the presidency even by riling up the base and getting the hardest core supporters as energized as possible and not tacking to the center. He hasn't tacked to the center even since his election.
The Democrats should look up
on the Democratic side, we're seeing a mirror image of that, and that's pulling our politics apart.
Sharon Angle. What were those? Remember when the right ran those people that they thought would be, their names have gone down in infamy when the right made that move. And Bannon, I don't even think some of those Bannon candidates, but Roy Moore. I mean, when you go when you go out there on either side. I mean, when you
it's not always successful, but we're seeing that the gravitational force seems to be, the energy seems to be with the wings, right? That's where the money is, that's where the energy is, that's where the social media buzz is. All of that stuff is important.
Also proved that the polls still are pretty useless when it comes to some of this stuff, because none of the polls had him winning, which just makes you think, okay, who knows what's actually going to happen when you get to November?
Yeah, it's sort of what we saw in 2016, too. A lot of the pollsters scratching their heads trying to figure out the result after the fact. Andrew Gillum here, the Tallahassee mayor on the Democratic side, I read this morning, he didn't lead in a single poll in the run-up to this. So that tells you, we're sort of flying blind as political journalists trying to see what's going to happen. Yeah, exactly.